Yeah,
what
interesting.
I've come to believe is that there's just beauty surrounding us all the time,
Yeah.
everywhere, and you just have to open your eyes and, you know,
And what
redefine, expand what your definition of beauty is. And
yeah. And what's like taken you down that path of like realizing that and wanting to do that? Yeah, I guess first just realizing that. Were there like certain events in your life that helped you become aware of that?
um
I mean, you mentioned like just seeing the
when I
change.
was right. Well, I was a little kid, when I was a little kid, my mom would sign us up, my sister and me up for art classes.
Okay.
So I did like some drawing and some painting, and I was really bad at it. And I don't remember disliking it. I don't remember really loving it. It was just like a thing I did, and I did, and then my parents divorced when I was around 10, and my mom went and traveled, and so my sister lived with my dad, who um, provided a great home for us and a great upbringing. But he was an engineer, and so he was like not really the art classes. Just instead, I played little league, and
Yeah.
so it wasn't. I just forgot. I just wasn't in touch. Art wasn't part of my life, and like thinking about, oh, art, yes, art, kind of way. And then I went to college, and then I was living in Boulder, and I was volunteering. I was like early in my volunteer days at KGNU, the community radio station here, where I've been involved for over 30 years now. Um, and there was this girl there that I was into, and anyway, she was moving away, and she had a room up in 4 Mile Canyon outside Boulder in a house that she was trying to sublet. And so I sublet the room, and one of the guys living in the house was in the MFA art program, sculpture program at CU.
Okay.
And so there were sculptures all around the house, and a friend of his worked really big, like life size, human plus size sculptures. And he didn't have any space for them. So a lot of those were around the yard because we were up in the canyon on the creek, and we
Wow.
had all this space. And so there was all these cool sculptures all over the place.
Wow.
And then Jim, who's now like the head of the MFA sculpture program at the University of Minnesota,
Okay.
he was like, "Hey man, do you play softball?" Like, yes, I love softball. And so I played third base for the art school softball team and started hanging out with artists again, because what do you do after you play softball? You go out, you drink a
Yeah.
little, and it's just like, and I'm just hanging out with artists and going to the art school, and and it was just like to hang out there. And I was like, oh right, art. I forgot about it.
Yeah.
And then it just started, I started noticing it more and more. And I was working in the music business for 20 years, and being around and really interested in like even though I was mostly a label manager, I was mostly interested in the creative side, working with the artist, and the producing the record, and the cover and packaging and all of that, and not really so much the sales and business end of it, even though that's like the record label's job. So
Yeah.
I finally I came to a point where I was like, you know what? I'm just like, I've been a DJ, I've been a radio DJ and sometimes live DJ all these years, and music is like a huge means of expression for me. Like I can't really play any instruments, but I can put some music together in a way that I can express something,
Yeah.
or instill a feeling or a vibe or whatever. And um I just decided that realized that I was better at presenting artists than representing them.
Okay.
And that for me to be responsible for their livelihood was not really in their, like, for a big good part of their livelihood, their record sales. This is, of course, back in the day when there were record sales. And then, the business changed a lot. And I just got to a point where it was like, I'm not really serving the artists. I'm not having any fun. I'm not making any money. To get to that point, I would have to completely reinvent myself and the way I approach the music business, and I'm really just not up for that. I'm more. I decided. It's like I'm more of an artist myself than somebody who should be representing and doing business for artists. And so I just need to find something else.
Yeah.